Rate
Hey.
yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, BuzzFeed style. What do you
What?
think in terms of attractiveness, intelligence, and personality? I don't fucking know.
Oh no.
What? The fucking BuzzFeed intro. Yo, Jason, cue that shit.
I give myself 6.5.
Please.
And welcome all to the Speakeasy podcast. I am Daryl.
And I'm Phil.
And I'm Miss Sarah. What's good? I'm back.
Miss Sarah's back on. This is officially a Sunday special, a Easter special.
The comeback.
Yeah, the comeback of Miss Sarah. And
I'm
so
here.
basically
With a brand new mic.
with a brand new mic, come back better, man. Come back better.
Yeah.
Harder,
So you
better,
guys
faster,
can hear
stronger.
my smooth voice.
Ooh.
Oh, yo, real quick, just random question. What do you guys think about ASMR?
ASMR, I find it's one of the most stupidest shit that blew up.
I can't stand ASMR.
I can't stand it, man. Like, I can't hear somebody chewing, man. That shit irritates the crap out of me, man.
Yeah, people eating. It's not my thing, I guess.
Mukbang.
What's the point, man? Like, I've been dying to know. Like, I watch gameplays all the time. You know that makes sense. I want to see what the game is like. But ASMR is like I just watch somebody eat.
There's some for different purposes, I believe. Like some of it is for like ambient noise.
Yeah.
Some of it is for
It's supposed to be soothing and like relaxing, but
or
I mean, if somebody talks about SMR, like it's about eating shit. So like everybody like knows like SMR is like somebody chewing on like a king crab or something. It's fucked up.
Well, speaking of eating an animal, nice segue. What do you guys think? First of all, I want to talk about what do you guys think of Easter and the whole celebration of Easter and I don't know if you guys know the history behind it, but actually, first of all, the history behind it, funny enough, it didn't start off with the resurrection of Christ. It was actually a pagan sort of celebration for the celebration of spring, the arrival of spring in northern countries. But then as the years went on and Jesus became Jesus, he sort of became the symbolism. But anyways, what do you guys think about the celebration and do you guys care?
So first of all, my condolences to all the chickens that lost their.
I believe it's turkeys, no? Turkeys as well.
Yeah.
Turkeys.
Turkeys as
Yo,
well.
we slaughtering turkeys and Thanksgiving and on Easter. What the fuck's going on?
To every animal that has lost so many children to these blood fests. My condolences.
Animal Planet has a Twitter channel. Be like, hey yo, bro.
Like the holiday is like their genocide. It's fucked up. I know how Phil like interprets it, and it's really sad if you actually think about it like a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And I feel like Phil is crushed right now. Like, look at him, he's so sad. It's just, damn it. Like our holiday is their fucking last day on earth.
But yeah, I mean, how about you, Misar? Yeah, and in Muslim culture, you guys have holidays too, no?
Yeah, like we celebrate Ramadan around the same time too. Like Ramadan's gonna start in like 9 days.
Wait, when does it end? Is it in summer or is it?
It's exactly a month, so it's gonna end in like the end of like mid June. Not mid June, mid May. Sorry, April, May. Yeah, so it's gonna end like mid May and stuff. It's only like 30 days, it's a month.
But it's very much a rite of passage, if you will.
Well, it's one of those like traditions that we do. There's a lot of significance behind it. Like if you just like search it up and stuff, like it tells you like why we do it and all the benefits. And obviously, like most of us know like the benefits of fasting, right? It's good for your health, it's good for your like digestive system, stuff like that. But it also has like another meaning to it. It means like you put yourself in the shoes of somebody that's less fortunate. Yeah. And you kind of like relate to them in some sort of way, like in some parts of the world where like resources are very scarce. Sorry about it.
Resources are scared, bro. I got scared out here, bro.
Like resources are very limited. Like water is practically non-existent. Food is very rare. So we put ourselves in these shoes so that we could like sympathize and relate to them, to appreciate like the things that we have.
So what do you guys think about the idea of how us Western culture, we usually we tend to celebrate sort of Christianity's sort of holidays instead of like sort of actually like in either interpreting other or sort of including other cultures' holidays into our calendar, or just completely excluding all holidays and just make it sort of a a regular year without any significance to like a specific religion. What do you guys think about that? Especially Basara, what do you think being a part of?
I mean, because Ramadan is very important. It's
Yeah.
it's like one of the few like religious holidays that we have. But it's I feel like the other like holidays are more like I don't know, like because they have their own meanings and their own significance. It's just
Yeah.
Ramadan is like its core in Islam, so it's very
Yeah.
hard to like not to be a part of. Or
But what do you think about the idea? It's not included into the calendar. Say it's like everyone does it, or what I mean.
yeah, because yeah, everybody's supposed to do it, but it depends. Like if it's a calendar thing. You're right. It's just everybody's supposed to do it, but if you're like sick or disabled or whatever, or you're not like sound of mind, you don't have to. You're excluded from that.
Yeah.
But if you're like healthy, like normal person, like yeah, you're supposed to do it because it's like it's part of our like beliefs and traditions.
I find that interesting that there's kind of a consideration for those who are maybe unable to do it.
Yeah, of course. Like
That's very nice.
there's always those who are not sound of mind. They're not in a mental state that can understand and appreciate the significance of it. So they're sort of like pardoned from doing it.
Right.
So it's like saying like I'll give you an example, like a wounded soldier. Like he was shot in action, and he was shot pretty bad, so he can't like run or walk or stuff like that. So he lost the leg. Right? Yeah, he's pardoned. So he's getting like how do you say like there's like the word in English, like he gets sent back to the base.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's like he's pardoned basically. So it's the same thing.
Interesting. Concerning your question, Daryl, I would bring up the fact that like you hinted at, the entire year is based on the Christian beliefs and the way that we count years and the way that we count everything from the last couple thousands of years of existence for us is centered around a Christian belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the events throughout our year are based on this, and they're kind of treated as the baseline in a sense. It's like it's a bias, or rather you pretend that vanilla flavor is Christian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding other things on top or other flavors, that's the
It's
other.
extra, it's the extra stuff.
He's implying that the baseline is Christianity, and that's also something that relates to how some governments treat religious symbols. For example, you guys know that here in Quebec, we had the Premier François Legault passing a bill about religious symbols, right? About wearing the hijab.
Yeah. Or Catholic crosses in terms of.
So that's the thing. Concerning what happened here, when he said this, he exempted the crucifix that was in the legislative room.
Yeah.
So there is a cross, right? That's hung in that room.
Yeah.
And he specifically said, "Oh, but that's been there. That's our thing, though. It's part of the deco. We're keeping that one."
Well, yeah, it's very much
a lot of people pissed.
It's very much oriented, very aimed at a specific demographic.
Yeah,
it's Islamophobia, man. I can't really, you can't really like go around it. Yeah, you can't dance around it. It's Islamophobia.
Yeah, because of course they're disproportionately aimed by this type of bill, because Christians aren't mandated to wear anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's specifically things they wear, so it's specifically aimed at them. So
Like the problem wasn't around like before. Exactly. Like Phil is right. Like even way before the hijab and like mosques have been a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning there was no problem. It's just it was later on that it became an issue. But like Christian symbols and stuff were already there from the get-go, but nobody raised any issues about that. Nobody said no. Nobody said, nah, like what about others? You know, nobody raised that question. It's just that as soon as like Islam grew in the Western countries, they started to bring the issues like, oh, like we shouldn't have religious symbols displayed on that. We should start caring about people's feelings. I mean, it has nothing to do with it. It's just you don't want us to be there. That's the base thing. You know, you just want us.
I find it very ironic how like those, because they're basically taking from the original French people that colonized this place, and so I feel like their whole entire sort of their entire history. He's like, oh yeah, we founded this place. They completely disregarded all of the animalist people that were living here beforehand, the natives. And they're like, yeah, no, okay.
We brought faith. We created this land.
We created this land. It's like, you know, it's such a like a weird nationalistic, but it has nothing to do with like, you know, it's put in the wrong place because like you didn't colonize shit. It was just sort of like, well, it's you didn't tyranny. Own shit. You didn't own shit. Yeah, you took it from someone else. Yeah. You said, this is mine, and then their butt hurt because you know the English said, you thought this was yours. Hey, yo, what are you talking about?
Said, let's do the same.
And then yeah, so now it's the whole, even like the loi 101, it's very much like oriented towards like a specific demographic because it's sort of like, oh, we want to preserve the French language. It's like, okay, first of all, French language ain't going nowhere. Like you can't really like France is we're there, okay? France is fine.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. What the fuck?
At the same time, like it's like just because you're saying hi, you know, like the whole bonjour hi issue. That was fucking hilarious. Because like saying hi is such a discriminatory thing. It's like, oh my god, you're against the French culture.
You have to say bonjour first, huh? You have to say bonjour first before the hi, man.
How dare
they have to make you say that.
To be fair, it has a better ring, but yeah, they do really want you to
honestly, the ring is because like we got used to like saying bonjour hi. But if we were used to saying hi bonjour, I swear to God it would have sounded the same.
But the funny thing is, it reminds me a lot of like it's a good analogy is like when the Habs lose, they're always like, no, we're next year we'll beat the shit out of you. Next year we'll win. And then they don't win.
Next year the star is gonna come back to life.
And next year comes.
Yo, you guys had Crosby, bro. That's bullshit. You know what
yo,
I mean?
the ref is on in this. What the
yeah, bro. I swear, if the last game was in a home game, bro, it would have been done.
Shit, man.
Bro.
Yo.
But yeah, this is the thing. Like, I feel like it's misplaced. The whole idea of being independent from religion. This whole idea of like, oh, you know, cleansing the whole religion out of like this nation is sort of like I guess a bad rep because ultimately this is what created the nation in the first place.
Yeah, it's a multicultural country anyway from the beginning. Like, why would you strip its colors away? Like, it's not right.
The very essence of why it is unique as a country.
You should be embracing it.
Yeah, I feel like there's also like we mentioned this, but it's subterfuge. I don't think they genuinely want that party in question. Yeah. I don't believe they want to erase every Christian imagery and
no, that will never happen.
It's a way to make it seem reasonable. Because if you just say like, I want like every religious symbol or belief to be equally treated, that's fair. So then the next step for them is to say, so none of them will be present, but they make that the ruling in so that it disproportionately affects some beliefs.
Yeah.
So obviously they don't want to treat them the same.
No.
But yeah.
That's what they said, like, oh, we'll just keep whatever was there already.
You know, the Christian cross has some.
Yeah, it was there already. You know, it looks good right there. You know?
To be honest, it looks nice. It has a nice aesthetic to it.
I like the shape.
But I think the sad thing about it is the fact that you can't really blame them because they were raised that way. It's kind of like a passed down thing. So you can't be like, oh, yo, this guy's an asshole because you know he believes that. It's more sort of like because he was sort of raised in that mentality that this is how things should be, and the only reason why it's failing is because these newcomers are coming in to disrupt it. It's kind of same issue with the immigrants. Like, when the immigrants came in here, they wanted to fucking shit.
Took our jobs.
It reminds me a lot of like Germany when fucking Hitler started going up, and it's like,
I know they're all the Jews are the issue, man. Like,
everything relating to minority groups has the exact same history. Like whether it's racial tension, LGBTQ struggles, it's all the same thing. It's all just a question of this ancient group wants to preserve their holy mountain.
Yeah, their existence.
Yeah. Or not even just their existence, their power that they hold as the status quo. So they have to alienate the other group because the other group is just doing their own thing. And a lot of people will realize, hey, that's pretty cool. And that's, they're all right. Those neighbors are pretty all right. But no, you have to fear monger. You have to they control the narrative.
But people choose ignorance over learning new things. You can see it all the time. Like you can ask anyone like that they know someone that either like don't really care or they don't want to learn about like new religions, new communities, new traditions and stuff like that. You have to understand that you're not alone on this planet. You have to cooperate with the people around you. You don't live alone. If you want to live alone, go to the moon. It's not.
Hey, bro, keep the moon out of this, bro. You got nothing to do with this.
Because you want to go there, don't you?
Hey, that's my safe haven, man. Don't touch the moon.
We'll send them to Mars. Let them cook.
Elon, man, no, send them back. Send them the other way. Mars is mine.
Build a space wall.
Send them to the sun. Fuck them.
Yo! I heard they discovered water on the sun, but we should go.
I would be surprised, to be honest. Okay.
I bet Donald Trump would believe you.
Yo, the sun out here sweating, bro. The sun out here sweating. It's too hot there.
God damn,
Woo! It's getting on here.
Oh.
Another celebration thing, a custom, a tradition that we sort of go about, especially in this month, is April Fools. What do you guys think about that?
That was a funny holiday back in the day, wasn't it, Daryl? Sticking fish messages behind my back, you bastard.
Joy. Hey, I didn't do anything.
I know you just laughed.
I endorsed
you didn't tell me anything.
I didn't instigate it.
I told you, bro, is it on my back? He said, nah, nothing's on my back. I turned around, you kicked my ass.
Yo, I didn't do nothing, bro. I didn't assault nobody. Hey, this is some bullshit, man.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. Your fucking print is on my pants still this day. We can match the prints later.
All right, and before I get canceled, what do you guys think?
I have loads of fish on my back, and I never pinned nobody, man.
I was the guy getting pinned. That's the thing.
Yeah. I think the whole idea of it though is kind of dumb because it's so like actually no, it's funny because everyone's paranoid during that day. So
it
is like everybody's got their backs like, oh, yo, you got my sick, right?
You're fired. You're fired today. You're fired. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. April Fools. You get to keep your job
at that time. Yeah, man.
So I took it as a joke.
But yeah, do you guys know where that started?
Yeah, well, it had something to do with like an old town. I think it had something to do with France. And
always the French, bro. You're always the French, bro.
Always the French.
It's actually French.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I think historians aren't really sure from what I recall, but they link it to this other festival called Hilaria.
Ooh, that's not like a festival, bro.
And in Latin, Hilaria means joyful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so it had something to do with an ancient Roman festival.
So it used to be like a white lie type thing where it's like a little funny joke here and there. It's like,
I don't know how it became about like tricking people. But
somebody took it way too far. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. Somebody be like, yo, you know what? We should do this shit once a year. at least like, just mess with people,
That's what people. You'll steal his shit and then tell him like he didn't do anything.
You know, people always say, "Imagine if the purge was real." It is real. It's April Fools.
Yeah, I mean, except for like you can't like really shoot at anybody. So
it was a
He's dead.
Bro,
The best.
You can't take a bullet back, bro.
No, that's the best April Fool's prank. April Fool's prank would be if someone faked their death, and then you just come back in the end of the day. Bro, that should be crazy, bro.
That has happened.
I'd be
I
mad
wouldn't be
as
surprised.
fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd be mad as fuck.
Imagine your brother and your dad had like a little like trick behind their sleeve. They're like, yo, pretend to shoot me. Bam. And you just fucking hate your fucking family members. And then at the end of the night at midnight, you're like, hey, yo, what's up, dog? I'm still alive.
Fuck. Nah, bro. I would never if I was in on it, I would never recover from a prank like this. They will always look at me funny. Man. It's like that motherfucker that pulled that prank. It's your mother.
Yeah, that would be stress, man. That would be stress.
Well, I honestly, if I was in on it and like there's somebody that I know that, you know, like God forbid, like fucking faked his death, bro, and I heard about it and I actually like went through the grieving process and I went through like, the mourning process and I was like, damn, he's actually gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucked up.
Imagine that.
And then next thing you know, he shows up. I'd actually like, I'd be like, you know what? I did this whole thing. You better be dead. You know what I'm saying?
Or the next time he dies, you're like, yo, let me open the goddamn casket. Open the casket.
Yeah, just to make sure. But I'm like this. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's gone.
But yeah, no. Speaking of, because this is actually a good transition. What do you guys think about like how jokes are taken too far? What do you think of like, you know, the difference between banter and then actually like offending someone? Because I like we grew up on like stuff that's a lot, you know, nowadays that wouldn't slide. Like I used to watch a lot of like, you know, we would make like really racist jokes and like really like some really like dark humor shit, and like, you know, we'd call people names and whatever, and like that was just like banter. We'd laugh about it. But like nowadays, when you do that, it's like very much like, whoa, bro, you're starting to fight with me, or like it's very much like very like a toxic reaction. It's like, oh, bro, what the like, what? How dare you call me that?
I think there's a difference now because people have decided to like draw a line between what is acceptable in a private setting versus a public setting.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the internet is very much responsible for that because the internet is a public setting.
Sure.
So in a classroom is somewhat a public setting. Downtown is a public setting. So if someone says something outrageous there, I mean, they're not saying it within a confine where they don't know that someone who's in that room
might be offended.
Yeah.
Well, not just being offended, but being offended because of their own personal experiences, you know, because you don't know who's in the room. That's the difference between like a private setting versus a public setting, right?
I feel like jokes could be said, but there's always like that kind of joke that, you know, it's a bit iffy. Like it's like you have to be like really good friends with the person or like know them very well to be able to say a joke like that and not have them like, you know, beat you up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I have one rule, man. Like if it's like strangers or like acquaintances that I barely know or I just met them, I wouldn't joke around about like race and stuff with them because I don't know them that well. But if it's like between friends and stuff, there's always limits, obviously. But as long as, you know, like for example, between me and Daryl, but I know Daryl has like that sense of humor that, you know, if I tell him a joke, he's not gonna like close the webcam and go to my house and murder me. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. I'll cancel you.
Like I know, like if I tell him a joke, he's gonna like understand why and laugh about it, you know.
Sure,
so that's why you always have to be careful what you say. You have to like calculate your words. Like just some people don't have no filter. Like that's a problem, you know. Sometimes like you can't.
People got no filter.
You got no filter. Like they got no filter, man. Like some people will be like, for example, I'd say like I have a friend of mine, like he lost his like I don't know dad or mom, like you know what I'm saying, like in a car accident and stuff. And for example, like, and another guy who just learned about it pulls up like a very like distasteful joke and says, "Hey man, you better be careful while you drive."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that is horrible. That you
is
can't.
terrible.
But
That is horrible.
But the thing is there's some people who like say in like that circumstance where they go through a tragic event. Like a lot of like, there's always that one friend that tries to cheer you up. Like a lot of people are like they're always like, they're all, I feel sorry for you and something. And when you go through that shit like 100 times, you're kind of like, yo, fuck off, man. Like, like,
Yeah, like
so you always have that one
accept
friend that
pity,
just
you know
says
what
like
I'm
some like, always that one friend that's like really cheeky, like, hey, yo, you have a cousin, like, yo, you want me to kill him? You get all the money. You know what I mean? Like, where's your brother? You want to take all the money? I'll take care of your brother for you. You know, like really like dark humor.
Yeah, like
well, that's dark humor is fine within a confine of people that are
close to you.
consenting
Yeah,
and available for that type of joke.
Sure.
Like you're not gonna go and let's say you're not gonna go and make a black joke to a civil rights.
No, that's
You're not
the
gonna
worst.
do that. It's not gonna be funny.
That would be funny.
It's not
It's
funny.
not-
Yeah, know your crowd. Know your crowd.
Know your crowd,
Yeah.
and your crowd is almost always a private setting.
Yeah.
A public setting is for you don't know who, so you're not gonna like just risk hurting people and then
Nah, bro.
playing the victim card of, oh, I don't have the right to free speech. No, it's not free speech. It's just like
You piss people off. You pissed a lot of people off.
Well, I mean, say for example, like us and like in high school back in, when we'd be in like a classroom or whatever, we'd say some like outrageous shit. And it's like it's not like a one way. It's like very much like everyone's involved in it. So like see like that in that circumstance is it's very much different because it's always like a majority knows, ultimately when you're in high school you have kind of like the same group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so especially if you're
in a group of friends, that is fine in a private setting, but in a
what do you consider a private setting?
Yeah, well,
a room,
a separate area.
Yeah, away from public, away from like the majority of the rest of the people.
Yeah, like a one-on-one conversation versus a group chat. If we're comparing like the internet,
sure,
right, or a forum. If you're saying stupid things on Twitter, Twitter is the most public thing on earth.
Yeah.
Everyone can see it. Everyone has a permanent record of what you said.
Mm-hmm. You can't delete that shit. It's always there.
You can't undo it.
Yeah.
You're stupid for posting something like that there.
That's why you don't have a Twitter account. You just don't.
Percent on you if you did that.
The thing is about
you can't change and be a better person if you said something controversial years ago, right? People change.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you getting shit is totally like understandable because someone just found this thing about you and they didn't know, and they're gonna question you about it.
So what do you think about cancel culture? Because a lot of people are dipping off of Twitter because of that.
Well, good for them. Twitter is very cancer.
Yeah, Twitter is not really one of those platforms that are like encouraged to use, honestly.
But the thing is, like, imagine, say, like you're like 15 or whatever, like you don't know anything. You're relatively new to the scene of you're just discovering yourself, and you just say some like really outrageous shit. You don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna be put in your place. You're not gonna go to prison.
And then 15. Well, that's
it depends on what you say.
Like in terms of like literal prison, no. But in terms of like, say you have a job and then you get kicked out of the fucking job,
then you're not a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no. Like, say for example, James Gunn, for example, he had a whole thing for like 15 years ago. Right. Granted, he's not 15 when he did it, but like he was still, it's relatively old.
Yeah, and he said sorry. Everyone vouched for him, and they ended up forgiving him.
Yeah, but he still got the whole movie. His whole job basically got taken down,
and then everyone
got pissed off.
Like, that's true.
Because he was lucky. He was lucky he got it back.
Not everyone is as fortunate as him. Yeah, and I'll give you an example.
That aren't as fortunate are often more responsible or not owning up to their mistakes. Because the thing is, Gunn owned up to his mistakes, and that's why they had to hire him back. He was obviously a changed person. He was not the terrible person that his previous
No, the studios hired him back because they were getting shit from the public.
Yeah,
that's
get
not
over
because,
it, you know.
If the public wasn't involved, they wouldn't have hired him back.
Honestly, that's exactly what I've said. If the public hasn't gotten involved, they would never have hired him back.
Sure, but the public is cancel culture. When we talk about cancel culture, are we talking about the companies or are we talking just about the masses of people? Because I think we're talking about the masses of people, in which case they do what they want. They're just random people. And
but
cancel culture is not inherently bad.
The thing is about it though is because this whole mob mentality, and because companies often rely on people for the revenue.
They're gonna just go for whoever screams the loudest, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you'll buy that? Okay, sold."
Well, yeah, exactly. So like the same thing with Kevin. Like, say for example, Kevin Hart, for example, he lost his job as the host of the Oscars because of some tweet he did ages ago. And so, like, see, like in that perspective, because regardless of all of the movements that Kevin Hart, like all the public's screaming about like Kevin Hart's tweets like old as shit, and he already apologized for many times. He said
he still got hammered. He still
got kicked out of his role as the host. In fact, he even stepped down from it because like, yo, this is some bullshit. Like, I don't want to deal with this. So like, and that like that's why I think in cancel culture is like such a toxic thing, because yes. It's in a way it could take down some big conglomerate leader like some like Jeff Bezos character or like a Harvey Weinstein, but most often enough a lot of people would do the same thing to like just average Joes.
I really doubt that any of the innocent people don't get their due diligence back. I think that. And once again, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but cancel culture is not like good or bad. It just is. So there's nothing really like new about it. Like the French beheaded a king at some point because they were fed up with monarchy.
Yeah, because he deserved it. He was robbing his own people.
People manifesting their opinions and the power of the masses can overpower institutions. That's always been a thing.
But if the institution is corrupt, if the problem is in the root of the institution that you say, obviously they're going to get rid of him. But I'm saying like cancel culture of people that are innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like some people said some dumb shit. Everybody say dumb shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? People like I say dumb shit every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a human being as anybody else. I'm not ashamed of being human. I make mistakes every day, but it's just to really ruin someone's life, to really cancel, like to get him quit. I mean, listen, like some people like rely on their jobs a lot. Like if you work for a big company, for example, and most of your revenue comes from that company, you get fired. Yeah, for sure. Like your life is ruined. But I'm saying like people that just want to go through the end. It's like, yeah, that guy's horrible. Like I agree with Daryl. Like cancel culture is toxic, and it's not something that people should do.
It doesn't matter if it is or not. It just is, because the thing is, at the end of the day, who fired James Gunn? Was it the masses? It was the company.
It was a company.
The company is a private company. They have no obligation to fulfill any demands by people.
Well, yeah, they have some obligation if you want to stay running.
None.
Yeah, but if they go out of business.
Okay, I'll give you a better one. Amber Heard. You know about Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Allegedly, she is a terrible person.
Yeah.
A completely terrible person. Nothing has happened to her. Her career is ongoing.
Yeah.
And yet she is being canceled by people. People hate her. Companies do not care. They do not.
Companies work with money. That's
any kind of morality. It's a choice. It's a business decision made by the people within the business. So it's still all just in a private company. So they have no obligation. So I don't think that equating the climate being a lot of people are butthurt about having once been told they were controversial or speaking out of line, and then they're going to forever take it to their grave that, our freedom of speech is being attacked by this evil demon called cancel culture that's just popped up in the last 10 years. It's those SJWs, they created it. It's this beast that's eating everything in the social space. No, it's always existed. It's just people getting angry, the mob.
Yeah, but the problem is nowadays the mob is interconnected throughout the internet.
But it's not a new thing. It's
yeah, but not well in terms of in terms of the gravity, it is quite a new thing.
I don't think so.
So like say an entire nation versus an entire world going up against you. There's no difference.
Yes, they beheaded a king.
Yeah,
that's been a thing in history.
Yeah,
mobs have been far more violent before.
Now imagine that, but a worldwide scale, a worldwide scale. So in that prospect, say France or whatever, decapitated a king. Mm-hmm. The rest of the people, the king, well, right, the king's dead, right? So that the whole news happens in that little region, and slowly traverses the seas throughout. I don't know how many days, years, months. Now you have the whole world decapitating you. So it's not the nation now. It's not France. It's the entire fucking world saying, okay, yo, everywhere you go, you're fucked.
I don't think that's a fair comparison because A, no one's getting decapitated. B, people could have known. But if you're Amber Heard and you go to Taiwan, who gives a fuck about you in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Well,
who gives a fuck? So that's the thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of people send the money
about you.
Aquaman went fucking high up in Asia, so I mean, I guess a lot of people in Taiwan.
A lot of people like her there.
You might be recognized, yeah.
That's the whole thing.
So no, I don't think there's anything new about cancel culture. I think people are getting like tied up in getting their panties in a twist over the internet being the internet.
Well, yeah,
I think it's all just history again, whether it's good or bad.
Oh, well, the problem is now it's hard for them to get jobs.
Yeah, because it's permanently now on the internet. Huh?
So say for example, you want to be a journalist, and then your entire name gets completely shut down. It's like, oh, fuck it, cancel culture.
Yep. Don't think you'll be as credible now.
But the thing is, that's why I feel like it's super like, I don't know, the whole mob mentality is such a toxic thing. It's just like, why the fuck, like.
But that's always been like it's whether you think that the mob is correct or not, or that should mobs be regulated, should the government shut people up?
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you want to live in Russia or China? I mean, fair enough if you do. That's choice.
Western Siberia. Here.
You wanna live in an authoritarian system? That's okay. No mob there, I suppose. Or the only mobs are the ones being killed. So, yeah here, I wouldn't say that it's like it's as free as we think it is, but it's more libertarian rather than authoritarian. Well, less.
Yeah, to a degree, yes, it is.
In that sense. We let free roam around with their guns and do whatever they want.
It's a passive-aggressive form of totalitarian.
But at the same time, like, it's just people being too critical. You know what I'm saying? Like people like people. But... I know, but just people are like too critical nowadays. It's just if somebody says something stupid, like I don't know, like hey, why do certain people have smaller eyes? Like it's just something stupid like that. You know what I'm saying? Like. I'm just saying as an example,
it's a big thing actually.
Yeah, it is stupid. It's something stupid, but it's just like some people just say that just out loud and they tweet it, and like there's like a barrage of comments just nailing on him, and the guy's like probably some like 14-year-old kid, bro, that doesn't know what he's saying.
Yeah,
and he's just some immature like
kids on the internet isn't a good thing.
But I'm saying my point is that everybody makes mistakes, whether they're young, they're old. We shouldn't base their life on that mistake. We shouldn't base their personality, their character, and how they will contribute to society, whether it's through a job or whatever, teaching, whatever you want to do. Because the thing is, like, a 14-year-old kid's gonna grow up to be like a 20-year-old, a 25-year-old, 30-year-old. If it's going to be carried with him, it's going to affect him in his job and his careers and stuff, and maybe even finding a partner, like even that could be affected. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you go out with someone that said something like this back in the day? You know what I'm saying? I'm putting myself in the shoes of a person.
Well, also it's kind of like, oh, I want to be with that person because he has all that clout.
Exactly. Like it's gonna bring all that negative energy into my life as well.
Yeah.
Massively popular. You guys also know that, right?
True.
So I'm saying because my whole thing is with the whole Jake Paul thing where he's basically being like not idolized.
Any press,
Press. The perfect example to talk about, man. It's like Logan Paul like recording people like hanging them he recorded like people that already hang themselves in the forest in like Japan or something.
Yeah, Japan.
I think he should have not gotten canceled. That's my question for each of you.
No, of course not. He shouldn't have gotten canceled. No, because he's dumb. He's stupid. I agree with you 210%. Logan,
I feel like now,
stupid.
Yeah. I feel like after he's atoned for his mistakes. I don't feel like the cancel should be.
No, like I feel like people make mistakes. Yeah, sure. Like the guy shouldn't have done that. And he paid for it. Do you know how much money he lost? And plus, yes, this dude lost so much money.
Yeah,
like,
all of his endorsements are gone.
All of them are gone, bro. Like he used to have like a contract with Disney. It's gone. Disney's such a big thing, bro. Like he's getting like
also
millions of dollars.
His public views got demonetized, so he couldn't get any money.
Demolished. His subscribers went down on YouTube as well. Like it's crazy. Like he paid for it already. Like he suffered. He went on live TV and he said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It's just stupid at the time, and I'm really sorry." And if you actually like believe his genuine apology, why wouldn't you forgive someone like that? You know what I'm saying? Like I know the magnitude of the situation is difficult for some people to, you know, leave behind, but you are bound to make a mistake that's close to that or less than that. You know what I'm saying?
But you get fired for all sorts of reasons. You get
that's true.
Just for your manager not liking your face.
Yeah, but it depends on
for something controversial you said is not much more egregious than other reasons of getting fired. So in that regard, it's nothing of measure, really. It's because once again, it's a private, unless you work for the public sector, and even then in the public sector, as we discussed, you should know what you're saying.
Yeah, you should be very careful.
In the private sector, it's their right to decide if they want to get rid of you because they don't want to be associated with you.
But that thing is, so say the manager fires you, that's one person you could target. So there's a specific group of people, like a very small group of people, where you could hold accountable for those actions. So say someone discriminately removes you from your job because of your color or whatever the fuck. You could actually target them and file a lawsuit. Now you can't file a lawsuit against the mob.
So you'll cancel the manager, basically.
No. Well, legally, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not legal what people are doing. It's more sort of a form of defamation where it's like
it's illegal.
Well, in a sense, yes.
It is not.
No, it's not illegal. No,
totally not illegal.
Yes, and in terms of law, no, it's not illegal. But in terms of like what the concept is, yes, it's very much defamation.
Mm-hmm. It's discriminatory.
No, it's not discriminatory. Discriminatory refers to whether you are of a certain group being discriminated against.
Well, but that's what Daryl is saying. Like, if you're getting fired because of your skin tone, it's discriminatory.
Like, say, like you're to cancel a white dude because he's a white dude.
Yeah, I mean that's discriminatory, right?
Not even. I think it's. Let me explain. So, if we're talking about racism, right?
Yeah.
It's impossible, and it's because of the meaning of the word. It's impossible to be racist towards a white person because racism is a term that refers to a minority group that doesn't occupy a territory.
So what? So
no, there is another term that you could use, but it's like the problem is with the etymology of the word. So racism cannot refer to a white person within the country of America or Canada or something like that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you really? Because I like last time I checked, like there's a few people that don't like white people as well, and they come up with names
and what do you qualify
and stuff.
As white?
Okay,
yeah, like what?
No, you guys
like European.
I'm trying to explain. You can be hateful towards white people. Mm-hmm. You can have anti-white sentiments that are like filled with hate. It's just it wouldn't be the word you call racism, because by the definition of the word racism implies that they are in a position of being taken over by somewhat of a colonizer setting. It comes from that setting, so it's outside of what the realm of what the word is supposed to mean.
So what you're trying to say is racism can't be towards white people because
the definition of that word. Not that I'm not saying that it's impossible for people to be.
Yeah, I got your point. I got your point, but it's just like I'm having a hard time like wrapping my mind around it.
The thing is, what do you qualify as a white person?
Exactly, like a European person, like British.
An Argentinian is white, and he's not a colonizer.
Yeah, I guess that's also why.
No, Argentina would be like South American.
Yeah,
they'll be like considered Latino.
Yeah, but they're pale. They're white.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like no. Like when we say white people, we talk about like Europeans, like French, British.
Yeah, I know, but when you
Germans,
when you meet someone, you won't be like, okay, he's European.
Yeah, but you gotta know where he's from.
You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot be racist against me because I'm fucking Argentinian. Like
that's why there's the distinction of visible minority and ethnic minority.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's kind of a.
That's why in that sense it's so like say like a dude from Argentina becomes a president of a company or president of the United States, right. And then he goes, oh yeah, we're going to impeach him because he's fucking white and he's supremacist. Like the dude's not from like any part of Europe.
Like he's nowhere near Europe. Like
or the dude's albino for fuck's sake. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like the whole like for me the issue about the whole cancer issue is the fact that it's you cannot be sort of it's very much one-sided. So you kind of like say the mob could take you down, but you can't take down the mob.
Yeah.
Well, you could say you're sorry for your actions, and then.
But the thing is, if
by any being who has.
Yeah, but the problem is they could cancel you for anything.
Unless they be private, where they have the.
Yeah, but the thing is, they could deem your action offensive, even though it's not offensive.
And they'll give you a reason that they constructed.
Well, they could choose whatever. They could choose, like say you cross the street, you walk in a private lane, that's reserved, like in the back in the days, like when shit was reserved for black people, white people, whatever.
Right.
Like you walk into a certain community, and you're like, oh, you're the white dude, and you walk into like Little Italy or some shit, or like or Little Jamaica or whatever the fuck. And they're like, oh yeah, this is cultural appropriation. Let's cancel this guy.
What do you mean? How is it appropriation?
Well, he's trying to act black. He's talking, with a.
No, cultural appropriation refers to making money off the culture of someone else that you've co-opted.
No, I mean the thing is, if the dude speaks the way and he gets money out of it, what the fuck do you want? Like, if say a guy walks up on YouTube videos, because a lot of impression YouTube videos,
right?
And he does an impression of a black dude, but he's white.
Right.
Cancel him for that.
That sounds unreasonable to me.
Or like an Asian dude, the same thing. When an Asian dude does that, like a lot of comedians do impressions of stuff.
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle, for example, he does impression of white people.
Like they shouldn't get canceled because they're doing
like if Dave Chappelle gets canceled for being not racist, like you say, but discriminatory towards white people, like you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, dude, it's satire. Like, why the fuck should I apologize? No, fuck off. Like,
right. Well, was it within a confined setting where
it's a public setting? Yeah, it's a comedy club.
Right. So the people there, he doesn't then, does he? I don't think he got canceled for saying something within his own little private life.
No, he got his entire show got bombed because he was talking about how his issues about black community was getting, and like how racism was very much a common factor, and he was doing, impressions of white people, and so like the critics gave his specials a 0, and then but like the fans loved it, but it's sort of like a very, very controversial topic, and that's why like I feel like the whole.
I don't understand. It doesn't sound like he got canceled. It sounds like he just got bombed by critics that didn't like his brand.
Yeah, but
like, did he get like he couldn't like do stand-up comedy anymore? Like
yeah, like for like a certain like community, he got sort of completely like outcast, and sort
because
of it's just
they didn't like it.
yeah, because it was against their sort of beliefs. So my idea, my whole point is like the whole mob. If the mob chooses that your content isn't good according to their mentality, they can choose to cancel you, and that's my issue about it. It's like you can't.
Yeah, it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you choose what's funny or not?
Yeah,
why would you choose?
But it's not whether it's funny or not. It's whether it's appropriate. And
I mean, okay. I'll say something. All right, I say if it gets everybody laughing, it's a joke. Okay, like it's just like if everybody laughs about it in the crowd, like nobody's just like it's just.
So if everybody, literally everyone in the crowd.
No, I'm not saying like everybody, like the grand majority. Like if you get like a lot of laughs and you can hear them, yeah, of course, it's a joke. Everybody got the idea. Move on.
So
okay, so it's not
because it's funny.
Well,
it's entertainment. That's the thing.
It's entertainment. It's like a stand-up comedian, Okay, if you walk into a stand-up comedy show, okay, right, you best expect to hear some controversial stuff. Like you can't just walk in naive. You know what I'm saying?
Hoping that nothing happens.
Like you can't expect like, oh, I hope they don't do bomb jokes. You know, of course they're gonna be doing bomb jokes, and I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because it's funny, and I understand it's a joke. That's the thing.
But then there's a particular group of people that don't agree with it who are saying.
So why are they there?
No. I'm saying like say the people in the crowd love it. It's the people on the internet behind the screens. They deemed it not good, and they say, okay, this is racist. Which, funny enough, those people are usually like white people who are blogging or whatever the fuck. They're like, oh,
yeah, look, funny enough,
this is such Islamophobia. Look at this.
Who cares? Like in that case, like they can believe whatever they want. Those random keyboard warriors, they can do whatever the heck they want, and I don't give a
keyboard warriors.
yeah, exactly. We don't give a fuck, but it's a mob mentality that people start chaining on.
The dude, poor Dave Chappelle, they didn't fire him. Once again, it's the company that did.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's like it's sort of the perception online, how people perceive him online. It's like, oh, look, he's just some fucking like, and then the media takes over, and then a specific side of the media decides to create a narrative around it, and then it slowly grows. That was my thing. It's like,
and well, it's fair to be worried, I guess, about it if you are a controversial person, but like, I feel like you should be wise enough to know that at the end of the day, you're not fired by Mrs. Kitty 123 on Twitter. You're being fired by your boss because he values his brand over you. At the end of the day, it's not like you're just being fired by the one above you. There's no one on Twitter that has the power to do that.
Well, it's not as much
tweeting to your boss.
Well, I mean, that's like for a person who does 9-to-5 jobs, it's gonna be a lot different. But in terms of like someone like in entertainment, like us, for example, we don't really stick with one company,
right?
So we often move, and so say like the issue is the window of opportunity gets smaller, as sort of this sort of false narrative gets bigger, and so that's the whole idea where it's not as it's more of a thing of like, oh, so right now, imagine you're going up, you're on the come up, and you're hoping that you have opportunities. You do great work, all your stuff is great. You have more opportunities, and then some group online, whoever the fuck it is, decides to say, okay, what you did in this particular instance, we don't like it, and so we will brand you this name, and then so people will start trying to find. You know how like people like in specific medias, they try to find like evidence or like clips of people freaking out or whatever, and they crop that into a specific narrative, and then they propagate that shit over the internet.
So like, see, here's the evidence. Here's the
but it has nothing to do with nothing. The evidence is not real. It's falsified, obviously. But not a lot of people know that stuff. That's the problem.
Because it was taken out of context.
Exactly. And so as you grow up, your window of opportunity goes down. And so ultimately, if you don't reach your peak before that happens, you end up being completely washed up and like jobless.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. It's not as much as you get fired, is as much as you don't even get an opportunity.
Yeah. So you're saying that because of the edgy things you said when you're 15, your
You
employers
might.
know about them.
Yeah,
it's a
'cause-
possibility.
Yeah, because they do sweeps. Like a lot of people.
Once again, your employer is choosing amongst a lot of people and is discriminately choosing someone they choose to hire. So that's not up to anyone else than your employer. At the end of the day, your employer is fully in charge of why they hire you. They don't hire you necessarily because you're the most skilled or necessarily because of this or that.
Yeah.
They choose based on their own like experience hiring and what they.
But here's the thing. I have a question for you, Phil. Like if someone did something stupid back in the day, right? Let's say around 14, 15 years old, okay? He said some like really like upsetting stuff on Twitter, whatever. He tweeted something really bad. And everybody forgot about it, and somehow, shit's like resurface sometimes. You guys know that. Sometimes shit resurface out of nowhere. Somebody just brings up something from the past, puts it out there, goes viral, and then everybody sees it. So let's just say that the employer didn't know anything about that tweet. They hired you based on your credentials, your skills, your resume, whatever. They hired you for you, And then after that shit resurfaced by the people, not by the company itself, like discovering stuff. It got resurfaced by the people. Sure. Do you think that the company, like your employer, is being influenced by the public to fire you at that point?
Hold something. If you're let's say you're like a teen working somewhere. And then at some point, like, I don't know, you have a parent that's a bit cranky, your mom, let's say. Yeah. Then your mom goes to talk to your manager and is like, you better be good to my son, you. And manager gets a bit pissy. Mm-hmm. Manager fires you. Yeah. Is that not the choice of the manager?
No, but I'm saying public influence do affect the employer's decisions at the end of the day. Because sometimes
what they know, but they choose to do what they want with what they know.
But if the public didn't even resurface with whatever you tweeted before or whatever, if for example, your cranky mom shows up at your workplace, all right, if that didn't happen, you'd still have your job, right? But here's the thing: you'll most likely still have your job because it hasn't resurfaced and nobody brought it up.
Yeah, and also I doubt a manager would fire you because your mom was being a bitch.
Yeah,
that was outrageous.
I don't know.
I know it's
pretty
I think that's just an excuse because they're like, you're really shit. We just need that one thing to pull the trigger. You know what I mean? We want to kick you out anyways. Just need that one trigger.
We just needed that one like push.
That excuse. We just that one excuse.
Right.
You were awful from the beginning, but we just needed that just to
most people will take an opportunity to fire you if they already had the intent to, like you just said.
Yeah.
So canceling is the same thing. Someone higher up wanted you fired anyways, or they would have kept you, fought for you.
No, because the other one is media involved. It's a bigger, wider scale, and so it affects their company to a wider scale.
What do you mean?
Like,
how does
if you have the entire media versus one person, I don't think they'll fire you.
How does the media do anything?
Well, like I said, it starts off as a small bubble and it slowly grows up, and then eventually a specific side of the media will take it.
And then what?
And propagate it out of context.
And then
put on context and then ruin your life.
When does the media strong arm the company, the private company? When does the media go, hands in the air, fire this guy or you're dead?
Well, yeah.
They'll just stop buying their products. They'll crush them. Yeah. Because it's the people that run their business. It's the people that purchase their products.
Buying Doritos, McDonald's. Did people stop buying?
Bro,
Nike?
they could easily like boycott like Doritos or something like that. They could just stop buying it or like.
And did they buy from that? Did they stop their bad practices?
But it's the thing because they're really big.
Yeah, exactly.
My issue is when you're growing, when you're coming up, when you're not a big thing yet. Yeah. Like if for example, a small company here in Montreal, like a boutique or something, hires an employee, great employee, works really well, no issues, did a background check, whatever the fuck, nothing, and then there's a whole media thing. There's like a whole group on Twitter that decides, I fucking hate this dude, so let's start.
Let's ruin his life. Yeah, like
some weird shit on the corner of internet, like a porn pic or whatever.
And that's horrible. and stick their face in it and tell them it's them. That's messed up, man.
I don't think that this is a good portrayal of the mob in the first place. Though I'm not saying that the mob is right about everything they say, and I'm not saying that they're informed necessarily, but I do think that mobs that do perpetrate or keep backing up their opinions long enough, they usually have something that they actually genuinely believe in. So it's genuinely something that irks or bugs someone.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, if it's like a Harvey Weinstein character, then yeah, for sure, there's a grounds for it.
So in the end, it's already done more good than bad.
But but the thing is, if it's a comment, because what he did was actually, there's evidence for it, and not only like on the mobsters, like on like Twitter sense. I'm talking about like legal sense. There's actual evidence. There's testimonies and all that stuff. But like, if you have a comment on like a social media platform, and that goes, that blows up, like the problem is, like, ultimately all of your endorsements, all those companies that endorse you will be associated with you. And so that's why, in terms of like who like, how does the mob or the media hold the company at gunpoint? It's because you're associated with the person. And so it's like, oh, you support this guy.
Yeah,
oh, well then we'll stop.
Yeah, but it's their choice whether they care or not about that.
They'll start caring when the numbers go down. It's not
here's the thing, Phil. I want to explain something to you. Let's just say like, just pick a very famous company that distributes some kind of food.
Say Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. All right. You know what? Let's pick Amazon. Okay. Let's just say that Jeff Bezos hired a very like controversial person for a big role in the company. Let's just say, okay, this person said a lot of like crazy shit on Twitter. He said some very like racist stuff. Let's just say, okay, and he hires him anyway, and just because he has good credentials and he knows how to run business, but then again, he's a bad person, and he's known to be a bad person. Like he's just like some famous dude, right? And people are gonna be like, why would we encourage people that have ideas and views that are very, very like negative and bad? Why would we support a company and make them grow harder? Like, you know what? Let's just like order our like packages. Yeah, let's order our packages from like Campar or something. Let's order our packages from like UPS, like eBay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Amazon will lose their profits because people will, as a collective, people as a group will choose not to order from Amazon, and that will affect their business. That's why like my point that I was trying to make, that it's the power is within the people, because whether like people like it or not, the big corporations like Apple, like Tesla, and like Amazon, whatever, like those huge companies that make like millions of dollars every year, right? They get their money from us. We are the consumers. We fund their business.
Companies work for shareholders.
Yeah, I know, but like, what keeps the companies afloat? How do they manage to get like such big shares out of the company? It's consumers. They're buying their product. That's the lifeblood of the business, not like shares.
It's not for a moral reason one way or another. So it's just a way to flag companies to be like, hey, behave more morally, please.
Or people just had enough. Like they don't have time to flag people. They're just like, you know what, this issue's been going way too long. They still hired that person that's like not good. He's not a good person. He has very controversial views, and they still hired him. He still has his job. Let's sink the company. That exists. It has happened before. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in like the political scene, because it's the most controversy in it. Let's just say, yo, pick the most controversial politician right now.
Yeah, fucking Ben Shapiro.
Yes, I wanted you to say that.
Why is this pseudo politician? He's
a pundit. It's different.
Trudeau then.
He's talking online like a pundit. That's crazy.
Point is, he has a platform.
Yeah, he has a platform that he says a lot of stuff on. Yeah.
Okay, so are we picking Trudeau, Shapiro, Trump?
Pick like all those like controversial people, right? It's like a lot of people don't agree with them, right? and a lot of people like think that they say like the most outrageous shit in the world, right? But at the end of the day, if the people like got together and they're like, okay, you know what, this person is not for us, he doesn't represent us, he doesn't represent our ideas and our values, don't get rid of him for sure. Don't impeach him, man.
Well, the thing is with Donald, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not saying that cancel culture is a bad thing. It's just that having the mob decide what is good and what is bad is very much a dangerous thing.
Well, yeah, I agree with that it is dangerous. It's
my point was just it's there. It exists.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying though. It's neither good or bad. It's just there.
It's there. Yeah, I know. I know it's there, but it's a bad thing too sometimes.
It's a dangerous thing that a lot of people have.
There are good moments, there are bad moments. I agree with that.
Of course,
I've sustained this the entire time that there are moments where cancel culture, or what we call cancel culture, has resulted in people, I'll take James Gunn as the perfect example, getting fired. I mean, that sucks. He said he was sorry. He got hired back. Thank God. He also got hired at another company because of that.
Yeah.
Because, there's cancel culture reactionaries.
Yeah.
People that say that it's only bad. And these also always so happen to be right-wing people that are not okay with molesters and rapists getting accused because they're buddies with those people. And then they say, oh, well, we don't have freedom of speech anymore. So there's kind of a dual-sided narrative to it.
It's very biased.
But on every side, it's like you can't, that's why I don't think it's so cut and dry of it's good or bad. Because if we go with the idea that it's all bad, so who was going to arrest Weinstein? Who was going to deplatform Trump? No one. And on the flip side, if it's always good, then why was James Gunn affected by it? Because clearly he said he's a changed man. He's done all the precautions. He's
sure.
But at the end of the day, you could say that James Gunn got his job back, but that's just random happenstance of Disney deciding to be forgiving.
That's what I'm saying. He's lucky in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's lucky and he's unlucky that in the first place it got out there.
It got to that point, yeah.
Yeah, but
he made a mistake in the first place of posting on Twitter, but
well, you know what I'm saying, because it's 15 years ago. You don't really have the knowledge of how Twitter.
Well, once again, I'm not challenging his moral character.
Like Twitter just started back then. I just like, what is this? Oh,
I'm just recommending everyone I know to maybe not post on Twitter. And
yeah, I'd say the same thing.
Yeah, Twitter is a cesspool.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And it's not just because of the canceling and all that. It's a cesspool of people that are angry.
Yeah,
and it just breeds more anger
for no reason.
Every side.
It's true though. So just some people just
angry and stuff. Yeah, fucking cut off again. God damn it. But anyways, ultimately, bottom line is the point is, the whole idea of it is a dangerous thing, regardless of it being good or bad. You have to. It has to be very sort of washed over and sort of like actually have grounds for it before it actually becomes viral thing.
Right. Check the sources.
Yeah. Imagine like you get that shit from Buzzfeed. It's like kind of like, okay,
definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like
don't jump in on it because of clickbait. Join in if you believe because of the sources you consulted.
Yeah. Well,
that you trust.
The unfortunate thing is most people are just follow things because it's trending. So it's like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I think some do. I do think that people consult sources. It's just that it's hard to know what source is trustworthy.
It's like reliable source.
Yeah. What is a reliable source? A lot of people use secondary sources instead of primary.
It's like, what's your source? BuzzFeed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. I have my
Wikipedia, remember? My source is Wikipedia.
Is the best source ever, bro.
I know, but we got hated on it for that.
BuzzFeed is like my kryptonite. I can't. BuzzFeed is one of my biggest nemesis
Yo, watch BuzzFeed is the most hilarious thing. You'll punch your screen so fast. It's unbelievable.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, if you want to look at like really like, I don't want to like bash on this channel, but it's very like a lot of people left it. Like a lot of like BuzzFeed regulars left it because they were sort of like, dude, this thing is like it's kind of toxic and also very sort of what the fuck. But like a lot of people that watch BuzzFeed video, you check the comments, it's like, bruh, really? It's like the like to like dislike ratio is very much like
it's very like
it's like on the cusp of like fucking, it's like a war. It's like Jesus Christ.
Like there's as much dislikes as likes, man, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really asking for it though.
I know, but they just post the dumbest shit in the world. Right? Like you watch the video and you're like, why did I watch it? Why did I watch this?
I lost brain cells.
I know. It's I'm getting a brainwashing vibe from the colors that they display too. or that BuzzFeed sign that, you know, the old videos that's just like goes like this, like the sign, like
yeah,
it's
the
yeah, that triggers me at night. I don't know why.
But anyways, to end this off of this whole fucking debate, you guys could like comment what your opinions are. I'm sure it's
I'll link. I'll send a link for the definition of racism that I was speaking about.
Yo, I check on Google, bro. It says typically one that is a minority. Typically.
I'll send another because that's
Philip got it from the Webster dictionary though.
Yo, I got it from Oxford.
The official definition.
Webster is my
it's the official.
Merriam-Webster knows my shit.
Using that shit since like the old ages, yeah.
I knew I assaulted someone on April Fool's with a Merriam-Webster dictionary. So I don't trust with Merriam-Webster. It makes me do dumb shit. Let me get canceled on the end of the show. But to end this off, guys, want to rate yourself? Rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, BuzzFeed style.
What?
In terms of attractiveness, intelligence, and personality. I don't fucking know.
Oh no.
What? The fucking BuzzFeed intro. Yo, Jason, cue that shit.
I give myself 6.5.
Please.
Fuck. Hey, oh man, or like those wannabe BuzzFeed videos like Jubilee. You know that channel?
Jubilee has there's some topics
interesting topipics.
It's just they don't pick the right people to
people are all over the place.
Yo, they took an incel to represent male male representatives? Was it called? The what was it? Fuck, I think it was feminist versus was it for men activists?
Men's rights activists.
They took an incel. I'm fucking dead.
But to be fair, men's rights activism is incel culture, but
yo, like
I don't know. That's
on why I brought up like Jubilee.
That's a whole issue, and that's generally.
I'm just gonna explain like why I think like Jubilee has like some BuzzFeed influence videos. It's just
all of our endorsements are gone.
Because sometimes like you see those videos are like swipe right if you like that person in real life. Like you have like a row of like. It's either they did it. Oh man, the most like fucked up shit. They did this with the men and the women. So like, they line up the men and like, there's like one girl that's just.
I do find it entertaining though.
What?
I do find it entertaining. It's funny.
It's so stupid.
It's bizarre.
But it's
so awkward though.
It's an interesting concept because it's like sort of like essentially making you realize what you're doing. But
would you get called ugly online live in front of everybody else?
You're doing it behind the screen.
Stupid.
Dead ass. Doing it behind the screen. Dead ass. You're doing it behind the screen.
I know.
Yo, this bitch clap, bro. Get out of my screen. You know what I mean? Like, yo, everyone's done that shit,
bro. If a girl rates me a 3 out of 10, and I know that shit is going online, I will be so upset. I will be like, what?
Bro. Yo, if you love yourself, you don't care, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's going online, bro.
Yo, so yeah, a lot of people be like, yo, you trash, cancel this kid.
You're gonna get
exactly.
You can cancel her before she cancels you.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Damn, that's like what's up. I should diss first before I get dissed.
Right.
So fucking next. We'll see y'all in the next episode. It's been your boy Daryl,
and it's been Phil.
It's Massaro, man. I'm back.
And yeah, fucking comment. What do you guys think of?
Yeah, stirring up some hot takes over here.
We have mad debates. Probably, there's gonna be some virtual assault. Cancel culture is gonna be.
Fuck,
Great.
man.
This is what you're talking about. Private setting versus public setting jokes.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. See y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Take care.